understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
When I eat a brain, I get visions.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
You have failed this city.
Jesus, what kind of a preacher are you?
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
Because where I'm from, your grandson becomes the greatest hero in the universe.
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV Report for the week ending Saturday, September 29th, 2018. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined.
And I'm Sarah Netzley, academic by day, freelance writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And this is the second to last time I'm going to be able to say this for this year, I suspect, but we have no new episodes this week. But they're coming.
They're coming.
They're lurking.
But we do have a retro pick.
Yes, yes, we do.
Yeah. So, lots going on. Lots of stuff going on in the news. And, now Sarah, you wanted to start the mics like right away because there was something you wanted to discuss about, something going on in the Illinois area.
So I asked Ed, hey, I said, hey, we our first cookout of the season is tonight. We're scheduled to go hang out with some friends, building a fire in our backyard, gonna roast some things over an open flame. And I asked Ed, is that a thing? Do cookouts happen where you live? And apparently this is not an autumnal festival perpetual thing that happens for you every season. This is not.
No, we have barbecues in the summer, but
I mean, we have those.
But no like cookouts. Like, once fall rolls around, the grill goes in the shed and yeah. I mean,
so this has to be a land space issue. I mean, this is because I know a million people who have wild and rambling backyards and they built a fire pit that we can all sit around in camp chairs. And like I said, put things on sharp sticks and hold them over flames so they're charred on one side but still cold on the other. It's a beautiful tradition.
Yeah,
and we'll do this until it is too cold to be outside, until everybody is like sitting in the fire. It's so cold. That's how you do a cookout in Central Illinois.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like something I would have done in Boy Scouts, but not
but your aunts are invited. It's like Boy Scouts, but your great aunt is there and she brought a Jell-O salad.
Okay, Jell-O salad. That's a thing.
Okay, I need you to come stay with me for a week so I can show you all these Midwestern delights.
Oh, wow.
Church lady Jell-O salad, cookouts where, your front is roasting because you're near the fire, but your back is freezing. The Midwest in September is great.
All right.
But apparently you just put your grills in the shed and just eat your whatever your thin pizza, your weird thin pizza. Keep your weird thin pizza.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, we go have pizza. I mean, this I have heard a lot of people call Staten Island, the place I live, Pizza Island, because they are every 3 feet. You can't walk more than 3 blocks without running into a pizzeria.
And this is why I should come spend a week with you, just for the pizza.
Yeah. I was actually I passed by a shopping plaza on my way home from work where there were 2 pizzerias in the same parking lot. So,
was one busier than the other?
Kinda. Not really.
I would never be able to drive by without counting cars for each one just to see who's winning.
Yeah, I mean, they're both delivering. You've got Avanti's, and then you've got the fancy Pizzadoro, which has been there forever, but it looks like it belongs in a bowling alley in the 80s and just never changed. It's got that, it's got that, like, it's still got like the Miss Pac-Man and video game consoles, and it's got that like bowling alley, like really thick cheese pizza that doesn't really taste right, but it just, all right, it's gonna get you through, and it's just been there forever. Like it's never ever gonna change.
And there's something sort of soothing about that. I mean, it's a constant. It's nice. So we also have an Avanti's around here. I've just quickly Googled it. It is not a chain.
No,
you and I have different Avanti's.
Yeah, no, this place is not a chain. This is not a chain. So this has been your introduction to DC TV this week. yeah. This has been. One other quick bit of business. There was a tweet that was put out by your friend at Tanya Mel, saying, specifically to you, Sarah, that she accepts your apology, even though it was oddly specific about Shane West, and hope you're both well rested for premiere week.
Yeah, well, I may have gone overboard in praising the bad boy doctor of the ER, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of weird that like seeing a performance from Shane West in ER would make you apologize for bashing all of that show. Because they're like, that's the one character that clinched it for you. It wasn't Anthony Edwards, wasn't George Clooney.
It wasn't Noah Wiley's wounded deer expression. Nope.
You ever like stumble onto TNT and watch The Librarians and realize like, oh, he's been here the whole time?
Sometimes. The Librarians is kind of an unsung gem, actually. That's a great little show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. There's a fantastic holiday episode guest starring Bruce Campbell. Gotta check it out. It should be mandatory Christmas viewing for everybody.
All right. Cool. So you ready to dive into the news?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's hear some news.
All right. As per usual, we're starting with Arrowverse crossover news this week. And there's two bits of news there. One is that we have a title for the crossover, and that is Elseworlds.
Ooh.
Elseworlds. And the promo art it's catchy. It's stylish. We have Elseworlds in a big circle around a kind of stylized star. We've got the Batwoman symbol reflecting into the air from the city skyline. It's sharp. It looks really sharp. So I like the branding and the attention they put into making this an event. I appreciate that because there's a lot of shows that do crossovers. They don't get this same splash. So I appreciate they work for us. They put in the work for us.
Yeah. And Elseworlds, for those who might not know, was an imprint that DC had in through the 90s and the early aughts, that was all out of canon storylines. And you basically had some great storylines. My favorite Elseworlds story was probably Kingdom Come, by Mark Waid and Alex Ross, that gorgeous Alex Ross art. But it's all stories with the DC characters, but it's like these are just fun tales about these guys, but they don't fit into the canon somewhere. And of course, some of the stories that people really liked, they eventually tried to shoehorn in somehow here or there. But yeah. So I don't know what that means. And the logo that they put out for this crossover is the exact same as the logo that the Elseworlds imprint had. So I don't know what that means for the storyline. If maybe that's how we're connecting. That we're going to be doing some multiversal traveling. And that's how they're going to integrate it in. I don't know. But I mean that may be something to do with the other bit of news that happened with the crossover this week. Sarah, if you want to let people know.
Oh, yes. That is casting of LaMonica Garrett. He will play the Monitor.
Mm-hmm.
This means nothing to me, so Ed.
The Monitor is a an extraterrestrial being. He's a big he's got kind of like pinkish purple skin, and some nice mutton chops. Yeah, but the idea behind the character is the Monitor is in a giant satellite that monitors all of the activity that goes on across all of the infinite Earths in the DC multiverse. And, he kind of tracks what's going on. And if something is happening between the universes, he lets people know about it. He doesn't necessarily interfere, but he monitors. And he's the big focus of Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is the storyline that changed the multiverse forever. I don't think Elseworlds is going to be Crisis, because that's the storyline that's in that Red Skies headline that we see in Flash all the time. But he's going to be appearing here, and if this is gonna be a multiversal storyline, it does make sense that he would show up, or that we would find out that he exists. So
do you think the Crisis storyline, does that kick in as we start seeing people's contracts expire and we have to recast everybody? I mean, genuinely, is that how the CW shows? If we get to a point where they're all kind of sputtering out, do we just say, "All right, here's your Crisis"?
Yeah. I mean, it could be. It could be a big. I mean, the one thing with that storyline, spoilers for those who haven't read it, it's almost 35 years old. But the whole reason behind that was because DC continuity had gotten so sprawling, and so the publishers just felt it was just, there was no clear point of entry, and it was just too much for new readers to keep track of. So they had this big giant storyline that, where there was this there was this probe that was eating up all of the infinite Earths and destroying them. And basically what happened was it cleared the field and destroyed all of those parallel universes. And then by the end, it combined them into one. So if they ever wanted to have Supergirl and the Flash take place on the same universe, that would be like the storyline that they would do.
Okay.
Also another consequence of that is that a lot of people died, including Barry Allen, the Flash. So that's why I don't think we're going to go there just yet, because I feel like that's going to be like the real end for the Flash. Or if they finally wanted to pass it off to Wally West. I don't know if that's likely. So yeah. But I do think that we're going to find out about that, especially now that his daughter's around on that show. So,
or maybe Grant Gustin is going to surprise us and be done. I'm kidding.
Oh, wow. Wow. He's pulling the Andrew Lincoln, but not telling anybody. You think that's what's going on?
Yes. Except Andrew Lincoln told everybody.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see. Curious things.
Would the most surprising thing about The Walking Dead be? Are we spoiling things for? If you're somehow not caught up on The Walking Dead's news, I guess skip 30 seconds. But wouldn't the most surprising thing be if Rick was like, "I'm gonna go into the mountains. I'm gonna live in this cabin alone. See ya." That would be. I would. That'd be a surprise. I'd be surprised.
But like he's Jeremiah Johnson.
Yes.
All right.
Leave me alone.
If that's how you feel, sure.
I was just thinking that's the only possible outcome that would make me say, didn't see that coming. Rick retreats to a cabin in the mountains alone, and people let him, and he lives out his life as an old man. That would be interesting. Sure. That wouldn't be interesting. Nothing about that would be interesting. It'd just be a surprise.
So yeah. Are you excited to see the Monitor, to meet him and find out what his deal is?
Oh, for sure. Especially if, as you say, he is such a big part of this other aspect of DC storytelling in such a broad sense. Will we see him again? Is this the kind of thing where he'll drop back in periodically? The potential for future interactions is also really interesting, along with whatever would happen in the crossover.
Yeah, definitely. All right. All right. Cool. What's up next?
So that's it for the crossover. Let's move on to Arrow, where I feel like all of my news this week came from Twitter, but that's okay. That's how I live my life. Stephen Amell shaved his beard.
Ooh.
Which would indicate to, I think, most people that this means at this point in filming he's out of prison, and Felicity said, "Nuh-uh, shave that." So,
damn.
Based on what we saw in the stills and things, was that as pointy a goatee as you were hoping for, Green Arrow wise? Before its demise?
I mean, yeah, it kind of works. I do hope that he gets to groom it a little bit when, like, he gets out and actually does a scene where he, like, grooms it into that Van Dyke and really kind of, like, get
I just want one playful bathroom shaving scene where, yeah, he gets it all pointy and Felicity comes in and it's just like, no, and just wordlessly points at the razor. That's all I'm asking for, is that little bit of levity.
Yeah.
Not much. I want them in that big, echoey granite apartment and Felicity taps in and no.
Yeah. I will say we did get 2 tweets this week from people that were both about Arrow. One's from @Aunt Betty Taylor, who says she can't wait for some serious and action and the Olicity reunion. So she's looking forward to Arrow coming back. And @Southern Siren says, she's so happy Stephen Amell shaved that beard. It's just gross. It's just gross to me, and it aged him at least 10 years. Excited for Arrow season 7 minus Diaz and Siren.
Well, and I also feel like the beard goes along with the beatdowns he was clearly getting in prison. So the beard also means black eyes and just blood all over his beautiful, beautiful face. So for him, the character and the actor both,
yeah. I'm
glad the beard is gone because I think it signals healthier living without being punched in the face in showers.
Yeah. And what I do think was fun was I did see there were tweets where that picture was side by side, where him without the beard and then him in those action scenes. And it's also nice to see that all of the cuts and bruises and bloody and bloody marks were makeup, because he didn't have any scars.
Yeah, they healed without scars, so that's nice.
Yes. So that was relief that, okay, there is TV magic there.
Speaking of TV magic, the other bit of news, again from Twitter, was from Stephen Amell's feed, where he teased an all-male pillow fight that they filmed, and he said, "We know where our bread is buttered," which, thank you, Steve. Thank you. So what does that mean? Is it a wacky prison hijinks? Are the pillows filled with shanks? I don't know. Could be.
Or what if it's like him, Diggle, and Colton Haynes, and that's how they celebrate when they get back to Star City?
Well, now if that isn't that, I'm going to be real disappointed.
Because, like, when you say pillow fight, that's what I think of. It's just, people at a sleepover.
Adorable fun.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right. So what's up next?
All right. Supergirl. We have a synopsis for the premiere episode titled "American Alien." Are you ready?
All right. Lay it on me.
All right. Diving back into reporting, Kara welcomes a new cub reporter to Catco. Meanwhile, James and Lena argue about James's impending indictment for acting as the vigilante guardian, while Alex and Brainy struggle to get in sync at the DEO. Supergirl is called into action when remnants of the anti-alien terrorist organization Cadmus try to assassinate pro-alien leaders, but their endgame turns out to be much more sinister than she expected. Ja'an relishes his peaceful new life, but an outing with an old friend causes him concern.
Wow. So I won't have to write.
So that's busy.
Yeah, I won't have to write my recap now.
We'll just copy and paste that into that week's Supergirl synopsis. Cool.
Yeah. But there's a lot going on there. I do like the fact that it sounds like they have Kara breaking in the cub reporter. That's
Kara is a cub reporter herself. What is she doing?
She's been there a year and a half. All right. That's,
and all told, she's done like 30 days of reporting work.
Well,
I mean,
that's just what we've seen, I mean, she did spend a whole summer locked up in her apartment, brooding with the lights off. But like,
that's good training for reporting, actually.
Yeah. But she could have still been emailing in opinion pieces. We don't know.
You know who you don't want sending in opinion pieces? Somebody who's been on the job for like 6 seconds. That's not the person you want writing your opinion pieces. I'm just saying. But I do like that we touch on all the main characters and where they're going to be, and it kind of gives us a good sense of the baseline for this season. And it sounds like Alex and Brainy are going to be interacting a lot. It sounds like Kara's going to be much more at Catco this season, at least for a little while. I'm glad they haven't forgotten about John. So yeah.
All right.
Oh, and I just got sad Marin is gone. I just remembered that we're not going to get his dad anymore. He was such a great part of last season.
Yeah. It's that, but it looks like John's gonna go on a journey now. So we'll see.
All right, if he needs to wander the earth, like
like Kane in Kung Fu.
Thank you. That was the metaphor I couldn't come up with. So.
Yes.
All right, so that's Supergirl. Moving on to Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Literally, the only thing you know about DC TV news this week is that the Legends of Tomorrow encounter a unicorn. We have seen the imagery. It is magnificent.
Boom. All right. Boom. I'm there.
I know. Mm-hmm. The unicorn brings with it a rainbow. I don't know if that's for dramatic effect on the promo art or if the unicorn actually generates rainbows. Either way, I'm ecstatic. Thank you, Legends of Tomorrow, in advance. This season is the best.
Well, hey, they brought on Constantine, and they said they're going to be looking for mystical creatures and artifacts. So I think unicorn applies. So
faux show. And it's going to be like a crazy take on the unicorn. The unicorn's going to talk, or the unicorn's going to, I don't know.
It's going to be a psychopath.
The unicorn for sure is going to be murderous. And I put money down right now that Mick is going to be like, unicorn, it's so magical. I love it so much. And he's going to be the one who's the most betrayed when the unicorn tries to murder him with his horn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Write it down. Mark it. The other tiny bit of Legends news, we have a title for episode 8. And it's going to be Legends of To Meow Meow. So rather than tomorrow, To Meow Meow.
Okay.
I am also incredibly there for that. So there better be big cats.
Yeah, I was going to say, does this have to do with the birth of Hello Kitty?
It could be. I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, because I saw that in an episode of The Toys That Made Us, and I was very intrigued. So...
I don't think we've watched that one yet.
Oh,
is that a season 2?
Yeah. Season 2. That's one of the 4 in season 2.
I think we got through Transformers, and that was just such a moving experience for my husband that we had to just stop. It meant a lot, and how could we keep going?
Oh man, so. I was all about the Star Trek toys. Because I collected all those Playmates action figures in the 90s. That was my jam. So yeah, Toys That Made Us and Legends of Tomorrow.
And the librarians get our thumbs up this week.
There we go.
All right, moving on. Here's a show that we haven't had news about in quite some time. iZombie.
Ooh, okay.
So Bryce Hodgson, who plays Donnie, has been promoted to series regular for the final season.
All right. I'm surprised he wasn't already a regular, because I feel like he's in every episode. But
yeah, this felt like sort of formalizing what was already going on, because he was in, as you say, pretty much everything last season. So I think they just made it official that I guess he'll be in the credits now. That's cool. He unexpectedly became a bright spot for me last season. He went from guy I was like, oh yeah, it's fine, to I enjoyed every second that he was on screen. And they need to give him more genius brains.
Yes. Yeah.
And the other bit of news here is not iZombie news per se, but I feel like it's still in the same orbit. And that is, earlier this summer, we reported that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is joining the cast as a Seattle City Commissioner. Kareem is also joining the writing staff for the Veronica Mars revival, which is overseen by the same creator, Rob Thomas. I'm fascinated that Kareem is going to be in a writer's room for a beloved, what started as a teen crime noir drama. But yeah, Kareem is going to be in the writer's room for Veronica Mars. Why I think this counts as a zombie news is knowing Rob Thomas the way that I do, which is as a fan from afar, he is going to pull over iZombie characters to guest star on that upcoming season of Veronica Mars. It's what he do. He always brings his past actors from other projects back into his current projects. So I promise you we're going to see some iZombie faces on that Veronica Mars reboot. It's going to happen. But yeah, Kareem.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, I think he has at least a master's, if not a PhD in English literature. And he does have writing experience. He has a whole line of novels and comic books about Mycroft Holmes, Sherlock Holmes' brother. So the guy has eclectic tastes, and it's I want to be on that writing staff, not to write Veronica Mars, but just to hang out with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the writer's room every day. That sounds like such a that's got to be such a fun look, to just peek inside that writer's room and see him hanging out with probably Rob Thomas and a bunch of 20-somethings.
I wonder, did they have to get him a really tall desk to accommodate his height, like his knees, or does he have a regular sized desk and he's all hunched over?
I'm sure. Well, at least the desk I don't think is as important as the chair.
True.
Yeah, they probably got a spring for a really comfortable chair for him. Some with some good lumbar support, and that can get that height.
Maybe he does a standing desk.
Ooh, maybe.
Maybe he's one of those people that does a treadmill desk. I don't understand any of that, but it could be. Anyway, I'm just so charmed by that Kareem it has multitudes and is going to be writing for Veronica Mars. So that's very cool. Very cool. I guess the moral of that story is get cast on a Rob Thomas show. You never know where you'll end up.
Yeah, there you go. Boom.
Next show, Lucifer. The only thing I have to say about the news this week is, good God, Tom Ellis. Good God.
Yeah.
And if you follow my Twitter feed, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, he tweeted out some photos that look very, very, they're very fancy photographs. Like this was a formal shoot. This wasn't just something you shot on an iPhone, but there's fancy lighting, there's everything going on, but it's him shirtless lifting an object over his head, and that guy works out.
It looks like he's forged out of metal. It's like he's wearing one of those breastplates that shows every muscle ridge, but that's not a breastplate. That's just his skin.
Yes.
Holy Tom Ellis. So I feel bad objectifying him on one hand, but on the other hand, that guy didn't eat nothing but chicken, broccoli, and protein powder for the last 6 months for us to ignore all the work that he's put in. He looks good. And what's interesting is, it indicates that Netflix is going to be, obviously something's going on there. There's going to be more nude scenes. There's going to be more flesh. There's going to be more emphasis on Lucifer as physical perfection. I don't know what. To me, it just, there's a big difference. We've gone from Fox to Netflix. Tom Ellis has done this amazing transformation. He was always attractive and fit, but damn, Tom Ellis. So
yeah,
way to go. Way to go, Tom.
Well, do you think any of his other cast members are going to be joining him in that workout? Do you think anyone else is training that hard?
I know Kevin Alejandro has had profiles in Men's Health type places in the past, so I know he's somebody who seems to work on fitness. And I also get a sense that Leslie Ann Brandt is they all work out. They're all actors, but she's somebody who I think has emphasized fitness as well. So I could see there being cast workouts and things. I'd be curious if so, do we get other splashy photo shoots for the, look at this incredibly hot cast. Come join us on Netflix.
Yeah.
these sculpted bodies will be there for you.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Something to look forward to.
All right. Yeah, so that's been your 60 seconds of lust. All right. Which is one of the deadly sins. It fits. It works for Lucifer. Let's move on. Titans. We have some character shots. I shouldn't say shots. I'm sorry. Character videos, character studies that have been released on DC Universe. So we can kind of get a taste for the 4 main characters in Titans.
Yeah. They put out clips. So Beast Boy, Raven, Robin, and Starfire. And we got to see a little. Each one is very different. We got to see kind of what's going on, the vibe of that character. Robin, I thought was very interesting because it does reference the death of his parents, and you kind of get the sense he pretty much states that he left Batman because he was afraid he was becoming too much like him. So I think that's a very interesting dynamic for that character to go in. Starfire, you see her, she's in some kind of government facility and she's being studied. So they don't state straight out that she's an alien, but there's something different about her. Raven is kind of just in her bedroom being spooky and scary. And disappearing into mist, and Beast Boy, he changes into a tiger and a handful of different animals, and you kind of get the sense that he's going to be the comic the light backbone to these characters. So it looks fun.
What I loved about this, if you didn't know that they were all connected, it would be easy to think that you were watching 4 different genres.
Yes.
Because with Raven, you've got like the spooky, and with Robin, you've got like tormented young adult drama, and with Beast Boy, it's like wacky fun CGI. It's really interesting that they have these very different tones and moods that they're going to be marrying in one show.
Yeah, and it's funny. Have you been watching DC Daily?
I have not. Okay. I've been really bad about that, and I'm so grateful that you are.
Yeah.
You watch so I can skate.
Yeah.
Skate by without.
It's short. It's usually like 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. But I've kind of been checking it out as when I get home from work every day, even just for the headlines. But the first couple episodes that they ran, they were doing these interviews with George Perez, the artist for the new Teen Titans in the 80s. And, the funny thing that he talked about with the way that those heroes were set up was that they could explore all those different kinds of stories. That where Starfire, you could do more science fiction, cosmic stuff. Raven, you can get into like the mystical and the occult. And, with Robin, you could do more street level crime fighting. But all of the characters were able to play into those stories nicely, and it seems like they're setting that same kind of dynamic up for this show. So we can go into a lot of places, into a lot of interesting and very different places, but it could all make sense within the dynamic of the show. So this has made me more excited for this show than anything else that they've put out so far. We got 2 weeks, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, same. What did you think about the Beast Boy CGI?
I thought it was good. It's not the greatest, but for what it is, for something that's on a streaming TV budget, I think it's suitable. Yeah. I mean, you didn't get that many close-ups of the animals. It was mostly wide shots, but I think it works.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think we've seen a lot worse, certainly, and you're not going to get Game of Thrones level dragons, and that's fine. That's not what this show is. So they look. I mean, forgive my girliness, but they look cute. Aw, tiger.
Yeah, and that works. That works. All right.
Cool. All right. Moving on to Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol.
Here is the sketchiest thing we have ever reported. But a photograph of the 2 actors portraying Robot Man. Robot
Yeah,
Man.
Robot Man. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I for a second was like, wait, am I just remembering Robot Man wrong? Because that seems like the easiest, most generic name. No, that's actually his name.
Yeah.
The two actors playing him posted a shot on social media of the two of them together. Eagle eyes on the internet, because the internet is the internet, noticed that there were a line of headshots behind them in the background, zoomed in on them, and found a headshot of Matt Bomer indicating Negative Man on it. And so the theory sprung up, Matt Bomer is going to play Negative Man. The photo was quickly taken offline, cropped to remove the headshots, and put back up, which just fans the flames of the conspiracy. So, if we were to get Matt Bomer as Negative Man, would you feel good about that or bad about that?
I think that would be fine. I think he's a good actor, but the thing that is surprising is Negative Man is invisible. And Matt Bomer's, again, he's a fine actor, but I always thought that like the reason you hire Matt Bomer is because, well, he's a looker.
You hire Matt Bomer for his piercing blue eyes and his sculpted cheekbones and his overall, I don't understand how any human being is this flawless in physical form. That's why you hire Matt Bomer. I'm with you. He's a great actor. He really is. But please don't hire Matt Bomer and then just give us his voice. That's a waste of Matt Bomer. I'm still so angry at Ryan Murphy for one season of American Horror Story killing him almost immediately. It's like, no, that's not why you hire Matt Bomer. You hire Matt Bomer to make him be naked with Lady Gaga as a vampire writhing on silk sheets. And he did that in the next season. He heard our cries. So what I say to you, Doom Patrol, is if you're going to hire Matt Bomer, show us his face. That's all.
Okay.
But anyway, this came from not any kind of big news sources, so this is not an official theory, but it is sort of funny to talk about. And maybe Matt Bomer wants to do some voiceover work. Who knows?
Who knows?
And if so, Bomer got to get paid. It's fine. That's fine. I want him to work.
All right.
And if he's not going to be working in Magic Mike 3, then I guess that's fine. He can do Doom Patrol voice work.
Yeah. Or maybe they hired an actor who got the exact same background and was wearing the same clothes that Bomer does in his headshot, because he was hoping that people might mistake him for Matt Bomer and hire him instead. Maybe.
He's Mike Boomer, and he just really, really wants to make it in this business.
All right.
Okay, last bit of news before we move into our retro pick.
Ooh.
And that is for Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing music.
We have casting news for Sheriff Lucilia Cable. She will be played by Jennifer Beals.
Jennifer Beals. What would I know her from?
I mean, the L Word?
Okay.
That's the first thing that comes to mind for me. She was, oh gosh, you have put me on the spot here, because now I used to know her. This is like when, no, it's okay. It's like when somebody says, what have you read recently that's good? What book should I be reading? And I'm just like, what are books? Do I know what books are? Even though I have a list, and of course I read things. Flashdance.
Okay.
Obviously.
Oh.
I don't know if you watched Taken, those 2 seasons of Taken, but she was the boss lady in Taken.
Okay.
Most recently on our television.
Mm-hmm. Well, Flashdance makes sense. Because I was trying to I know that name, and then they didn't mention that in the credits in the article. I'm like, I know that name, I know that face, but something is not making sense here. So okay, so if she was in Flashdance, then that makes sense. Okay, and I get that. Okay, that's how I know her.
Super 80s, 90s. She's just one of those actresses who is in everything always.
Yeah.
Back then, and you just all right. Yeah.
And
but yeah, she had a long run on the L Word, which is why I kind of flipped to that first, because she was sort of the center of that show for a long time, and yeah, she's good stuff.
Okay,
I like her. She brings an intelligence and an authority, in a way, and we had talked about in Swamp Thing, Abby has an ex-boyfriend who is a police officer, and the casting notice says that Sheriff Cable is the mother of Matt, and so I'm thinking probably, that means she's the mother of Abby's ex. And so if that's the case, the tension between, like ex mother-in-law type would be interesting. And Jennifer Beals would be formidable. You wouldn't want tension with Jennifer Beals because she's tall and stern and authoritative, and she will keep you in line. So
cool.
In a good way, in like a sexy authority lady way. So
yeah.
All right. This has gotten weird. Let's move on.
All right. Cool. So yeah. All right. So now that's all the news, right?
That is it.
All right. So on to our retro pick. You ready?
So ready.
All right. Here we go. Batman, the animated series. Episode aired January 10th, 1993. My 5th birthday. The Laughing Fish. The Joker used a toxin to make all of the fish brought into Gotham Harbor smile with his face. Batman and the police scrambled to protect bureaucrats refusing to grant the Joker a copyright so he could profit off of all the smiling fish sold in Gotham. Last minute reveal, Harley Quinn cried, thinking Joker had been eaten by a shark, but Batman confided in Commissioner Gordon that he was certain they hadn't seen the last of the Clown Prince of Crime.
I was not expecting a copyright battle. I gotta be honest.
Yeah. That's like a Lex Luthor real estate scheme, isn't it? It's
well, and I mean, I teach in communication. I've taken graduate student level media law classes, so I know enough to know that I don't think that's going to work. But by the same token, it's not my specialty. So, but that feels like a patent thing because he created a process, and so I feel like he should be going after the patent office rather than the copyright office. And that poor first copyright guy was like, "But no, you can't. This is naturally occurring. That's not going to work under the law, Mr. Joker." And that guy was right. I don't think that's going to work under the law.
He doesn't care.
But the Joker is not your guy to talk about. Let me explain the difference between copyright versus patent versus trademark.
yeah. And lots of cool, creepy stuff going on in this episode.
This episode was so weird and so creepy. I really enjoyed it. It was so off the wall.
Yeah, I will say, a searing image in my mind from my 5th birthday when this aired was the sight of G. Carl Francis laughing himself to death. And Batman may inoculate him and say he's going to be fine once the antivenom works. But that horrible smile with those searing red eyes. Oh, man.
And yet again, that dude is clearly dead. The show was lying to children. That was a dead person. Oh, yeah. Batman fixed it. Batman fixed him. No. He did not.
But the cat lived.
Yeah. Okay. Can I just say, I love that this show makes a really big point of curing cats. This is the second time that they've gone out of their way to be like, here, this cat is still safe. Save the cat. Somebody read Save the Cat, which is the book on storytelling. So
okay,
you got to save the cat. It's a famous, it's a famous how to write, basically, and you have to have the save the cat moment, which is why in Spider-Man Homecoming, when they actually saved the cat, it was really, really funny because it's such hoary old storytelling advice, but it totally works. Save the cat.
Yeah.
I also love the Joker introducing Harley and then his henchmen as the Messieurs. They write him with so much joy in his oddness. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and this is I think the best example of a straight up Joker episode. Where he has this wacky scheme that makes no sense, but because he's the Joker, it's incredibly dangerous, and you cannot take it lightly. And also, what did you think of the dynamic between Harley and Joker?
Oh dear, she needs a girlfriend to sit down with to be like, sis, listen, this is not healthy for you. He does not care about you. He does not do good things for you. Why don't you come stay with me for a week or two? Maybe go home, see your mom.
Mm-hmm.
It's not healthy. It's not, she seems to really enjoy it. And it's just like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, honey.
Yeah. It is a textbook abusive relationship.
Oh, yeah. That last line when she's thinking he's dead and she's so upset, and they actually say he was a demented, abusive, psychotic maniac, and she's like, I miss him. It's funny, it's played for laughs, but at the same time, oh.
It's more than a kid show, everybody.
Yeah, it really is.
But yeah, and it's lovable and sad, and oh my god. But yeah,
and she is just such a delight. The voice work, the lines that she's given, all of it is she's just a blast of light every time she's on screen. Poor Harley though doesn't like fish. Eating the fish in the commercial. That commercial was amazing.
Yeah, I do love that all the TVs in Gotham are black and white. I think that that makes perfect sense with the aesthetic for the show. But so much to like in this episode. Lots of windy twists and turns.
For sure. I do think if Batman ever bellows, "Get this man to a hospital," and it's about you, you're in bad shape.
Yes.
That's not good. That's not good for you.
Yes. Yeah. You run. You get out of there. Oh, man.
Is your will in order? Because that's not good.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing to demonstrate. Like, Batman is the eternal planner. He's the guy who's prepared for anything. And the thing that makes the Joker so dangerous, and the reason he really is Batman's arch nemesis, is because he's the only one who can throw Batman off balance, because he doesn't think clearly, because he is an agent of chaos, and you can't predict what he's going to do. So there's really no way to prepare for it. Like, he's one of the few villains I think can really make Batman a reactive character instead of a proactive character.
I can sum that up with lawful good, chaotic evil.
Yeah.
When you say Batman's prepared, I super loved when Batman comes strolling in dressed as a GCPD officer. So you've got Batman cosplaying as a police officer. It amused me. It tickled me. This was a good Harvey episode. He deserved to be dangled over that shark tank.
Yes. The minute I saw that weird looking minnow, I knew it had to be an aquarium.
Also, did you feel like this was a missed opportunity for Aquaman? There's trouble at the docks. That's your Aquaman time.
Yeah. But I mean, they hadn't really started introducing. I mean, they don't really start introducing like outside heroes until like Superman.
This is a 2018 reaction to be like, oh yeah, this was your chance for Aquaman, because we're so used to crossovers and cameos and surprise appearances, and that's just not what they were doing in 1992. I don't know if was it a rights thing, or was the audience just not ready yet?
I think it was just I think they just weren't ready for it yet. I think that I just don't think Warner Brothers was thinking there yet. And the Batman world is so rich, and there's even so many other sidekicks and Batman adjacent heroes that you can throw in there. Plus, like, I think it would have thrown off this story. This particular story is based on a popular Joker story from the comics in the 70s. And it plays out pretty close to that comic. And because I think that would take focus away from Batman and the Joker to throw Aquaman into the mix.
Oh, I was mostly kidding.
I know.
It's just, Aquaman, you have to, if there's water and it's DC, it's like, are we going to, I mean, this is his only chance.
Of course.
Give Arthur Curry something to do. Not to keep harping on the good looking HD transfer on DC Universe, but there is a shot toward the end where Batman is driving in the Batmobile that I had to actually pause and screenshot because the planes and shadows of his face are so crisp and clear and nuanced with this new HD vision. It's so beautiful. There's gorgeous art that I think I'm glad we're getting a chance to appreciate it.
Yeah. I second that motion. And
it also gave me a chance to appreciate how many quote marks they used in that still of the newspaper in the beginning. Too many quote marks.
Oh yeah?
Too many quote marks, newspaper. Oh, it was out of control. Out of control. That's been your journalism professor minute.
All right. So that was The Laughing Fish.
That was fun. Thank you for picking this. I really enjoyed it.
Sure. And this next week is going to be hopefully our last retro pick for quite a while. So
I'm sad about that.
Yeah. So it's sad. This has been really fun over the summer going through all of these. But I am excited to jump into the new season. But so are you ready to find out what episode it is?
Yes.
All right. So if you're watching on Amazon or through the old school DVDs, it's Volume 2, Episode 28. If you're watching on DC Universe, it's Season 1, Episode 56, titled Harley and Ivy.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
Harley and Ivy. Cool way to go out. So that's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD.
And I'm at Sarah Netzley, SaranEtzley.
Yeah, and follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory Podcast and Preacher vs. Preacher. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam.
Shazam!